Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. This is on behalf of the Facebook group Channeling Development and Spiritual Growth. My name's Kim Chamberlain, and I have the great honour of being able to interview people who are experienced channelers. And today we're very fortunate to have with us Laurel Sutherland. Laurel's from Wellington. It's really good to have you here, Laurel.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here, Kim.
All right, let's start off. Tell us about yourself, who you are and what you're about.
Oh, how to begin? It's always very difficult for me to talk about myself. Basically, though, I learned about spirit quite young and then did nothing for years and years and years because life intervenes. But however, it also tends spirit to present itself to us when it's time for us to know. And that happened, I got it sort of right in the face. And I got an opportunity to learn and to learn more in the Hutt Valley. I was in the 1980s, long time ago. I'm an old lady. But there you go. And I had a most wonderful teacher and a group there. And I learned there for about 3-4 years, almost everything that I know. And she was just amazing, and she was so close. Her connection with her own spiritual guides was so close that she was never emphatic, but she always just said, but Spirit said. Her name was Lorraine Tonks, and she's passed now, which is a sadness for the planet, but she's probably working from the other side. And I'm so grateful for everything she taught me, because what I learned was how wonderful it is to be connected with spirit. And that just is one of the best things in my life. And I've continued ever since. So it's about 40 years that I've been working with spirit.
Wow.
To my great joy and satisfaction.
Oh, that's amazing. So if today we're looking at channeling, tell us about the kind of channeling that you do.
Well, I'm called a trance channeler. And when I thought back to how Lorraine taught us and how she taught me in particular, I think I know at that stage I dabbled in going to the Wellington spiritualist church, when they were actually in a little room upstairs on Willis Street a long time ago. I think that was in the 70s. And I'd only ever seen trance channeling. I didn't know there was any other sort, but I didn't know what was going to happen for me. And when Lorraine came to me and said, because she had a service every month, oh, I want you on platform next month. I looked at her in horror and said, I can't do that. And she said, Spirit said. Well, how do you argue with that? I couldn't. And so I said, well, how will I know that they'll be there? This is the fear, that you're up there on the platform and nothing happens. So she said, why don't you set aside an evening, ask your guides to be there and walk you through what will happen. So I did that. After I got my kids into bed and closed the bedroom door and had privacy, and then ask my guides to be there and show me what was going to happen. And they ran this script through my head. And so I didn't really know how it was going to come out, but I would know it all and hear it all and know it and thank them so much. Then on the day, the first day, gosh, the fear, shish kebab. Yeah. I stood up there and I opened my mouth, and what I felt was at first I felt this energy coming behind me and into my mouth, and my mouth felt thick and heavy and hard to manipulate. And I realized that's what it felt like for spirit. This is thick and heavy because it's material. And then everything started happening by itself, and I was taken out and they came in and they just delivered everything that they had. And then I felt a bit shaky afterwards, and I thanked them and sat down. And it's been like that ever since, but now it doesn't feel so thick. We're much more accustomed to each other, but also there's been other people come in and use me. as well, that so that changes as we develop and as things happen during our growth and learning, because it's all learning. I'm still learning. You know, I reckon by the time I've learned everything I need to know, it'll probably be dead.
So for those people who might be new to channeling, can you explain what trance channeling is?
Trance channeling is when you feel words like come into your mouth, but they're not your voice, delivered in your voice, not usually. And each guide or each spirit who is using you as a channel to deliver has a slightly different approach. So you kind of know. And of course, because before, when you go into the service, that's when you put your protection, make sure you've got your protection, kind of reinforce it, because otherwise you might be vulnerable if you're not well protected, because you're going to be going out of your body, maybe. In the last probably a year, they're now allowing me to sort of stay and listen. So I'm actually learning as well. But before that, I didn't usually, all those years, I didn't usually be in my body. And sometimes it would take me quite a while to get back into it. A glass of water is very grounding and helps you slide back in completely and feel comfortable in your own body again. But
so typically when you're trance channeling, you kind of step aside, don't you, and another energy comes in, so you don't usually know what's being said.
That's right. Although, as I say, now I do hear, but that's why you need to be protected and have connection with your guides to know that they would never ever let any negative energy or come anywhere near you, because that's not what it's about. It's about helping people. But also I see any medium's role as bringing spirit into the room so everyone can experience it, but also so that spirit can help the people. And that's your role. That's what you do.
And so do you know who you channel?
Not a clue. But I feel the energy. I've never, when I asked for a name, they kind of laughed at me and said, well, we've had so many lives and we've had so many experiences on this and other planets, other places. We, you know, there's a group of us, we work together and we're here for you and you're our person that we're helping. So they, as I say, they've had so many lives, so many names, they just don't know which one to pick.
Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't
No,
matter.
No, it doesn't really matter.
No. So from the practical point of view of channeling, how actually do you do it?
I stand up. I've done, before I come and go into the service, I spend time alone, usually often before I get to the church, because not all churches have a space where you can do this. And then I do my prep work and ask my guides and explain that I'm going to need them there. And they already know, by the way, that nothing gets past them. And ask, you know, and dedicate the day really basically to them. It's a prayer, and it connects me with my guides. And then they always make sure I get there safely, of course. And then sometimes you just have to go straight into it. I had a friend who was also a channeler like me, and also a trance channeler, and she was very interesting because you could tell when she was linking with spirit, because her left hand would go up and do a little movement like this, and then she was there. And I don't have anything like that. Yes.
No.
And
how do you protect yourself?
How do I protect myself is before I go in, I ask for my guides to come in around me and put a protection. And sometimes I can choose different colors and I play with that, because you don't want the same protection all the time, because it might wear a bit thin. If you feel in any way that you're under attack or anything, there's a marvelous thing. You can ask for a stainless steel container, and you can line it with pink light for love or whatever you wish, and have the outside reflective. So then you get choices. You can reflect any energies that you don't want to come through. So you allow only positive energies. It's like I don't use a solid stainless steel. I use a lacy one, like a mesh network. And so that positive energy can come in, but negative not. But so that it can be hit there and be transmuted into positive energy to go back to its sender. Yeah. So that's how I do that. And I do that all the time. But it's also really easy for anybody to ask Archangel Michael, Lord Michael, St. Michael, because he's amazing with protection, and has a dark blue cloak that will protect anybody, and he'll put it over you and to protect you at just the asking. But that's the thing with our guides. They were there to help us. They want to help us, but we must ask. Otherwise, it's the rules that they can't, because of freedom of choice. We have free will. We can't they can't impose their help on us. We have to know that we need it and ask for it.
That's fair.
It is. It gives us some power in the situation. So that we don't ever have to have negative energy around us. It's our choice. I choose not to.
Oh, you wouldn't choose the negative energy, would you?
No.
So for people who are starting off, or people who are on the channeling journey, what advice do you have for people?
One of the biggest things I would say, or I would advise them to do, is to learn to meditate, and meditate frequently. The reason for that is that when we pray, we're speaking to spirit. But when we meditate, we create a space to hear them. So that we can. But, a lot of people get sudden thoughts come out of nowhere in the head. That's usually your guides. And also, the signs sort of thing, if you find feathers around, that's usually your guardian angel saying, talk to me, listen to me, come on, do the things. And your guardian angel is with you all the time and is a great friend. And that one of the roles of a guardian angel, and by the way, you have the same guardian angel through all your lives.
Oh, okay.
And so you're old friends. And your guardian angel will sort of nudge you or arrange for the people that you need to meet for what you have to do in your tasks in your life. And it's sort of, really good backup. It's like the admin section, I think. So it is possible to learn the name of your guardian angel, but most people will get a sort of nudge or a warm feeling or something like it's something that happens and you think, oh, who patted me on the back or something like that. And you'll know that your guardian angel is there, or you feel warmth come in and you'll know your spirits are there, your spirit guides, or family is visiting you. That can also happen like that as well.
Do you know the difference between a guardian angel and a guide?
Yes. Yes, a guardian angel. Angels have never incarnated, never been in a body. And your guides have pretty much been experienced life, if not on Earth, somewhere else. But they've experienced being in a body and they know quite a lot about life. But sometimes your guides are members of your soul group. And some members of the soul group are always on the other side and looking after those who are having a life. So your guides can come from several sources, but yes, but they are very, very helpful. They help you before you come in and they help you while you're here. And most of the time, like, they help you plan your life, because in your life you have free choice, freedom, free will. but there are certain things that you planned to cover in this particular life. So if you notice patterns in your life, something occurring and you sort of dodge it, and then something else comes up, it's a decision you have to make, and you think, oh no, and you dodge it, and it comes up again and you dodge it, it's going to keep coming up because you planned it until you do it. So you kind of have to put on your big girl's blouse and do it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, might as well just do it, mightn't you? Or else it's just going to keep coming back.
Exactly so, because you planned it. So things that you planned won't go away, and they're things that you need to do for your soul's journey. So kind of, and they're usually a bit tough.
Of course, yes. So with regard to people starting out or near the beginning of their journey, is trance channeling something you can do early on, or is it something that you need to build up to?
I think you need to build up to any sort of channeling, or any sort of channeling, or any yes, it's things you build up to. I think I'd been in circle and learning for about three years or 4 years, and that's like weekly. Every week we went to circle, and Lorraine had this extremely amazing energy. It was wonderful to be in, but her positivity was extraordinary, and she had, honestly, the whole, when I began, there was about 4 circles of about 6 people each, and then they kept expanding till there was about 8, and I think the hall was full by then. That's why one time she came to me, she said, Laurel, we're expanding, we're having a couple more circles, and I want you to lead one. And I said, of course, I can't do that. And she said, Spirit says. Not getting away with that. Yes, so I learned a very great deal, and I learned in experiencing it. And I think that is, people try and teach online, and that can take you so far, and it can give you a good base, but you need in-person experience. You need to be with other people and to be communicating with spirit with other people in order to make the proper, a connection that's going to hold. Once you've made that, once you can do that, then you can do it online.
Right.
Yeah, but you need to know the real, there's nothing is better than reality, in fact.
Yes, it's a different energy, isn't it?
Absolutely. Face to face. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, it's different. Okay, so any final words before we finish off here?
Let's see, I wrote out some things and I haven't used it at all. One of the things that I put here about in the beginning I found that if I didn't find a peaceful place inside myself, find calm, I couldn't connect with my guides. That was my personal experience. So that there's too much turmoil in me, couldn't hear anyone else. Oh no. So that was something. And the other thing that I think is really important is that you have kind of a spiritual muscle. It's like anything else. The more you practice, the more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yes.
And I've never been able to understand how, if you put your foot on the spiritual path, how some people step off again. That's me. I can't understand it, because for me it's brought absolutely so much pleasure, and it's sort of indescribable to try and explain the joy that comes with that connection. You would know, Kim. You know the connection, and it's almost, it really is unexplainable, isn't it? Yeah, because it's just so amazing. Okay. And one of the things that I advise to people on beginning their path, suggest it quite strongly, is that everyone learn to begin and end their day with a brief prayer, and it's to include always gratitude. Thanks for what you've got, because gratitude is one of the strongest things that can lift our vibration, but also that exists in the world. And the other thing is forgiveness. We need to forgive ourselves for stuff we've done. Once you start learning about spirit, you look back at what you've been doing and think, OMG, what's that about? Why did I do that? Well, forgive yourself. You did it because that was where you were at that time and you didn't know any better then. You've moved on. You're growing. Celebrate the growth. Forgive what you didn't know. And I also put this is a personal belief, okay? I believe that it doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside. Everybody is actually doing the best they can at that time with the hand they were dealt.
Yes.
It may not look pretty. You don't know what other people are juggling. You just don't know. If you get a strong idea in your head, it just pops out of nowhere, chances are that's your guardian angel. And it's always wise to follow it up.
Follow your intuition. Yes.
Yes. There's something else I would suggest to people as they tackle this beast we call life, try and bring it down and subdue it and make it do what we want, is that when there's no such thing as mistake, really. Yes, you've planned out your life, but if you don't do what you're meant to, like, or if your guides may offer you a choice to go straight ahead and you choose not to, you just say, no, I'm not going to do that at the moment, then I call that the scenic route, because you go off on a long windy road, which, by the way, will be rough and hard, and you'll learn much more than if you've gone straight ahead. So it's not a mistake. You end up knowing more. It's just not as fun,
It's a different experience. It's an experience, but a different one. Yes.
Spot on.
Yeah. Thank you, Laurel. Been absolutely fascinating. I mean, I'm sure I could talk to you for many hours. We have, your 40 years of experience that we've tried to get in a few minutes. But what I will do for people listening is put Laurel's contact details below. And if you would like a session with Laurel, if you'd like a reading with Laurel, she's based in the Wellington region, then I'll put her email for you below. So thank you so much, Laurel. It's been fascinating.
You're very welcome.
Speaking to you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And thank you, everybody.